You wake up before dawn because someone else decided dawn matters. The whistle cuts through the dark, thin and sharp. You sit up on a wooden bunk that smells like old sweat and damp wool. Your boots are where you left them. They're always where you leave them. You pull them on without thinking. Laces, wrap, knot. Muscle memory takes over because thinking costs time and time belongs to someone else now. You don't remember the last morning you woke up and chose what to do next. Outside, the air is cold enough to sting. The sky is a flat grey. You stand in formation with men whose names you half know. Faces blur together. You know who snores. You know who coughs blood into a handkerchief and pretends it's nothing. You know who prays quietly and who never does. You don't ask questions. Questions don't change orders. Breakfast is calories, not food. You eat fast because slow eaters get noticed. Someone cracks a joke that isn't funny. You breathe out through your nose. That's your laugh now. You check your rifle. You always check your rifle. You clean it even when it's already clean. Metal, oil, cloth. Again, again. Your hands know every edge. The rifle feels heavier each week, or maybe your arms feel lighter. It doesn't matter. You carry it anyway. Marching turns hours into a single dragging sound. Boots on dirt, boots on stone, boots on mud that sucks at your feet like it wants to keep you. The pack cuts into your shoulders. You adjust it, then stop adjusting it because it won't get better. Sweat runs down your spine even in the cold. No one talks much. Talking wastes breath. You pass through villages that look emptied out. Doors hanging open. A chair tipped over. A child's shoe in the road. You don't stop to look. Looking makes things real and real things stay with you. You've learned how not to look. When the shooting starts, it doesn't feel like the movies. There's no clean beginning, just noise, sudden and everywhere. The ground flattens you before your brain catches up. You press your face into the dirt. It smells like rotten iron. Your heart pounds so hard it feels loud enough to give you away. Orders come down the line, broken by explosions. You move when the man in front of you moves. You stop when he stops. You fire when there's a shape where a shape shouldn't be. You don't know if you hit anything. You reload because the magazine is empty. You reload because that's what comes next. Someone screams, it cuts off. You don't turn your head. You can't afford to turn your head. Time breaks apart in combat. Minutes stretch. Hours vanish. Your world shrinks to the ground in front of you and the weight of the rifle in your hands. Your mouth goes dry. You forget to blink. When it ends, when it pauses really, you feel surprised to still be breathing, like you slipped past something that almost noticed you. After, you take stock without ceremony. You count heads. You already know who's missing before the count finishes. Someone stares at a body too long. Someone else lights a cigarette with shaking hands. You sit down hard, back against whatever will hold you up. Your legs feel hollow. You don't talk about it. There's nothing to say that hasn't already happened. Days fold into each other. Rain turns trenches into soup. Your feet stay wet. Skin peels, socks rot. You learn the exact pain of frostbite, the way it burns and then goes numb, like your body is giving up on warning you. You keep moving because stopping draws attention, and attention draws orders. Letters come sometimes. Paper from another life. You read the same lines until they blur. Normal things are described, weather, neighbors, meals, and they feel unreal, like a story someone made up to be kind. You don't know how to answer. You write anyway. Short sentences. You say you're fine because anything else would take too long to explain. Sleep is shallow. Dreams aren't different from waking. In both, there's noise. In both, you're always listening for something bad. You wake up already tired. You wake up gripping nothing like it might disappear. You learn how to step over bodies without breaking stride. You learn how to tell fresh shelling from old by the smell. You learn how to eat next to death because hunger doesn't wait. None of this feels like learning. It feels like narrowing. You stop thinking about the future because the future is measured in meters. You stop thinking about the past because it belongs to someone else. There is only now, and now is heavy. When you're wounded, it's quick. A sharp impact, like being hit with a hammer you never saw coming. You look down because that's what people do. Blood is darker than you expect. Someone drags you. You don't thank them. You don't need to. You lie in a tent that smells of antiseptic and fear. Men groan. Someone cries for their mother. You stare at the canvas ceiling and count breaths. You heal enough to be useful again. Useful is the goal. Useful means you go back. By the time the war shifts, by the time rumors say it might end, you don't feel relief. You feel suspicious. This is what your days are. This is how you exist. The idea of anything else feels thin, like paper held up to the light. When it finally stops, it doesn't stop cleanly. There's no single moment, just fewer shots, then none. You stand around with your gear on, waiting for instructions that don't come. Silence presses in, loud in its own way. You don't know where to put your hands. Going home is strange. The road looks the same, but you don't. People talk to you like you're something fragile or something important. You nod. You say little. Your body still expects orders. Without them, you feel unmoored. At night, you lie in a bed that doesn't move. The dark is too quiet. Every small sound pulls you awake. You reach for a rifle that isn't there. Your heart races anyway. You try to explain what it was like, once. The words come out wrong. Faces go blank. You stop trying. It's easier to carry it alone. You've been carrying things alone for a long time. Years pass. The war becomes a story other people tell. For you, it never ended. It just lost its uniform. You still scan rooms when you enter. You still wake before dawn. You still feel most like yourself when your hands are busy and your mind is empty. The shape never really softens. You learn how to function around it. You learn which days are easier and which ones aren't worth fighting. Crowded places tighten your chest. Sudden noises pull you back faster than memory ever could. You don't tell anyone why you flinch. You just say you're tired. That answer works for most things. Work becomes another kind of marching. Same route, same hours, different uniform. You show up early. You follow rules that don't need following. Authority feels familiar even when it's meaningless. Chaos feels closer than peace ever does. People ask you what the war was like. They expect stories with structure, beginnings, climaxes, endings. You give them fragments, a road, a sound, a face you never learned the name of. They nod politely. You can tell they're already somewhere else. You stop expecting to be understood. Some nights you sit alone and clean things that don't need cleaning. A tool, a watch. Your hands move the way they always have. Slow, precise, controlled. In those moments, the noise in your head drops. Not gone, just quieter. That's as close to rest as you get. You notice how the world moved on without asking you. New buildings, new words, new worries. None of it feels urgent the way survival once did. You watch people panic over small things and feel nothing. Then you feel guilty for feeling nothing. Then you stop feeling guilty too. Relationships come and go. People say you're distant. You don't argue. Distance kept you alive once. You don't know how to unlearn that without losing yourself entirely. So you keep parts of you locked away, even from the people closest to you. Time does what bullets couldn't. It wears edges down. Faces from the war fade until you're not sure if you're remembering them right. Sometimes you worry that forgetting is a betrayal. Other times, forgetting feels like mercy. You don't decide which it is. Anniversaries pass, dates with weight you never explain. On those days, you're quieter than usual. You walk longer routes. You stand still and listen to nothing. You let the memories come if they want to. You don't chase them anymore. You realize one day that you've lived more years after the war than before it. The thought surprises you. It doesn't feel like an achievement. It just feels factual. Like everything else, your body gets older. Knees ache. Scars pull when the weather changes. These are small reminders that you survived long enough for time to leave its mark. You accept them without comment. Sometimes late at night, when the world is still, you think about the person you were before all of it. Not with longing, just curiosity. You wonder who he might have been. You'll never know. That path closed a long time ago. What remains is this version of you, shaped by repetition, by fear, by endurance, by doing what came next over and over without asking why. You don't call it heroism, you don't call it tragedy, you don't call it anything at all. It was your life, and even now, long after the noise faded, you still live inside the quiet that followed.